Welcome into Steelers Talk. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today I'm going to be breaking down 12 moves that the Pittsburgh Steelers and their GM Omar Khan can make before NFL free agency to clear up cap space to kind of give this team some interesting possibilities as they approach the free agency market in about a month's time. Before we get into the moves that I'll be suggesting today, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, because whenever they make a move, whenever they make a cut, if they restructure somebody, if they extend a player, we're going to have you covered with breaking news coverage right here on the channel, 100% free, whether I'm on vacation, whether I'm on a day off at my apartment, whatever the case may be. I'm going to get a video to you guys no matter what. You're not going to find that dedication anywhere else on Steelers YouTube. Also, free agency and the NFL draft. All throughout the offseason, we're going to have daily coverage on both, breaking down which players the Steelers are targeting, advanced scouting reports on all the top targets, all that great stuff. We have a weekly live show every single week on Wednesdays starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And oh yeah, all of this premium content, guys, it is 100% free. So if you love the Pittsburgh Steelers, you want to become an expert on this football team this year, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. So a little bit of a disclaimer here before we get into it. I'm not necessarily suggesting the Steelers make every single one of these moves. I'm just kind of presenting everybody here with options, and I'm letting you know what you could expect to see here in the coming weeks to potentially make some more room in terms of the 2024 cap for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's start with the starting spot here, because after you cut Mitchell Trubisky, after you cut Chukwuma Okorafor, and after you cut Presley Harvin III earlier this week, you're left with this much cap space. So you're still in the red, all right? Negative $4.3 million, which ranks 25th in the National Football League to this point. So you need to make some room before free agency, and you definitely need to make room before the season starts, because you need to. It's a hard cap league. So first, let's go over some cuts, because there's definitely some guys, along with Trubisky, Presley, and Chucks, that can definitely get cut for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's start with the wide receiver, Allen Robinson, okay? Because this one's super easy. This guy was a freaking parking cone last year, couldn't get open to save his life. All right, and you could save $10 million by cutting him. I'm actually surprised he didn't get cut at the same time that like Trubisky and Chucks got cut, because this one is so obvious to me. Dead cap, you do have to eat about $2 million, a little bit less than $2 million for the 2024 cap, but saving $10 million is absolutely worth it. Allen Robinson can't get open anymore. He's too slow. He's not an NFL wide receiver. Another player that I think they should absolutely cut as well is Mason Cole, the center. Now, even though you can make an argument he'd be a decent backup, I mean, he's over $5 million in a cap hit for a backup center. That's not something I want to do. You can save $4.75 million by cutting him, and the dead cap isn't all that bad. It's just $1.5 million for 2024. And then a couple of players in the secondary that I think could be cut as well. Damontae Kazee, he's lost his legs, he's lost his speed, absolutely showed towards the tail end of the season last year. If you cut him, you save $3 million, and the dead cap is practically nothing. So, I like Patrick Peterson moving to safety. I like bringing back Trenton Thompson, who still has one year left on his deal. And we'll go over potentially some guys to re-sign, but Damontae Kazee is not somebody that belongs on an NFL field anymore. Another guy to cut is Keanu Neal. Even though I like kind of the versatility between linebacker and safety that he provides, I don't really think there's going to be much of a role for him if he stays, and you can save $2.25 million by cutting him, and practically nothing in terms of dead cap if you cut him loose this offseason. So these moves in total would save you exactly $20 million. All right, so that's going to give you quite a bit of room to work with, all right? And we haven't even gotten to restructures or extensions yet, which can also create room. So if you take just this number of $20 million saved with just these 4 cuts, that gets you in the black over $15.5 million, all right? So that's a pretty darn good figure to start with, and then you can do the restructures, and you can do all this different sort of stuff to get back in the black once you make your moves in free agency. So I think this is a good starting point. Make those 4 cuts, and you're going to be in pretty darn good shape if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now let me know down there in the comment section, what is your confidence level in Steelers general manager Omar Khan? I got to put this at like a 9.5 or a 10, because I am super confident in this guy after what he did with an excellent offseason last year. I have all the confidence in the world. Omar Khan is going to have a great offseason yet again here in 2024. But let me know your confidence level down there in the comment section on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not confident at all, to 10 being completely confident. This is going to be today's pinned comment, which means there's a comment right at the top of the comment section. Go find that when YouTube throws you an ad break here in a couple of seconds. Give me a number 1 through 10. So now let's talk about some potential guys that the Steelers could restructure. And these are the guys with longer contracts, big figures that they can convert some of their base salary to signing bonuses and kind of get things rolling in the right direction. So we look at this right here. Minkah Fitzpatrick has 3 years left on his deal. Alex Highsmith has 4 years left on his deal. And then Seumalo, Ogunjobi, and Holcomb have 2 years left on their deal, which makes it a little bit harder to restructure their contracts. So I think Seumalo, Ogunjobi, and Holcomb probably not going to get restructured, but I could absolutely see Minkah Fitzpatrick and Alex Highsmith getting restructured this offseason to make some more room for the moves they want to make in NFL free agency this year. And I really don't think the Steelers need to go crazy with the restructures this year, even though they're in win-now mode, and that's kind of when you do these restructures because it front-loads all the contracts. It gets as much talent as possible on the roster. I don't think they need to go crazy on this year because you don't want to put yourself in a bad situation 2-3 years down the line when you're paying some of these guys a massive, massive cap hit because you restructured this year. So you want to play it smart and only do the moves that need to be made to make the moves that you want in free agency. You know, you have to have the guys that you're targeting in free agency. You have to have a set price and a set budget, and then you have to be able to execute that plan and not try to overspend on some of these players. So coming up, I got 3 players that I want the Steelers to extend, guys that are on the final year of their contract and I think could deserve extensions during the 2024 offseason. But before I reveal who those 3 players are, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Fanatics. And right now, the offseason is the perfect time to cash in on some of the offseason deals that they're having on their website, including on this awesome Throwback Steelers t-shirt that they're currently having on sale on their website right now. When you go to chatsports.com/throwback, you got to love that throwback helmet there. Really like the design. Super simple. It's nothing too crazy. All right. I like the kind of the simpler designs. And, you know, black, really like the classic black there as well. So you can get it right now in your closet on sale, chatsports.com/throwback. Make sure you go now so you can get yours in your size before they all run out. So a couple players that they could so this is going to be Jaylen Warren, all right? So F. Coop. Coop is saying F. Coop. So I'm saying Jaylen Warren, not Naji Harris, all right? Because Naji is somebody that I think is going to be getting that 5th-year option picked up, but Jaylen Warren, I think, is more of the dynamic talent that deserves that extension. So because he was an undrafted free agent, he's now in the final year of his contract, and I really do think that he has earned the ability to be the number 1 running back and the number 1 option in this run game moving forward. You look at the average there, Jaylen Warren averaged over a yard more per carry than Naji Harris. Right? He had less touchdowns, but he also had a lot less touches in the red zone. The yards, rushing yards over expectation, almost doubled what Naji had. So Jaylen was one of the better running backs in the league in that category. He had the higher grade as well, even though both of them graded out pretty darn well. And then the overall value, points above replacement, Jaylen Warren was the superior back to Naji Harris. So even though I do like the roles that both of these guys play in the offense, I would rather extend Jaylen because I think that's more of a unique skill set, the ability to cut, the explosiveness, also the value that he brings as a receiver and as a pass blocker really does exceed what Naji's able to bring, at least in my opinion. Now, for the time being, I am picking up Naji Harris's 5th-year option. I want them both on the team for at least the next 2 years because I think they're a really good duo. But if I'm giving one an extension, I'm going with Jaylen Warren over Naji Harris. So pick one guy to extend for me down there in the comment section. And by the way, when you're down there in the comment section, type F Coop for screwing up that graphic. Type NH if you want Naji Harris, or type JW for Jaylen Warren. Do me a favor right now. Let me know who you want to extend at the running back position if you're GM Omar Khan. For me personally, guys, like I said, it's definitely Jaylen Warren, and I definitely think that he's the more dynamic talent. That's the choice for me. Then we get to the second extension candidate here, which is James Daniels, the offensive guard here, the right guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's really played well over the last 2 seasons. Kind of had a rough start to the year last year, but then really finished strong, and he's really been the most consistently good offensive lineman on the Steelers for quite a while at this point, at least in my opinion. You look at the Pro Football Focus grade last year, I mean, it's been a little bit lower than what it has been, but again, I kind of contribute that to kind of a slower start. Finished 33rd out of 79 NFL offensive guards, but usually it's higher than that, and the way that he graded out at the end of the season was a lot better than what is at the beginning. I really do think that he's still a good fit for Arthur Smith's system, and I want to see him in the black and gold for at least the next couple of years. Then the final guy that could get an extension is Pat Freiermuth, the tight end, because obviously he is a big talent. He's a really talented receiving tight end, all right? But I'm not sure if I want to give him the extension this offseason, all right? And the reason why I wouldn't extend Muth this offseason is I want to see what he looks like in this Arthur Smith offense, all right? Because usually Arthur Smith likes tight ends that are good blockers and good receivers, and Pat Freiermuth is really known more as a receiver than as a blocker. So if he's not holding up his end of the bargain, in run blocking this year, I don't know if I want to give him that extension, all right? I might want to try to find somebody that's a better fit for this offense long term. But hey, if he really takes it on, if he puts on some weight, if he really learns how to be a really good blocker in this league, along with the high-end receiving upside that he has, absolutely during the season, if he's killing it, I'm giving him that extension and locking him down for the long-term future. Now, you be the GM here. You be Omar Khan. Would you extend Pat Freiermuth this offseason, or do you maybe want to wait to the season to get that extension done if he does a good job? Type yes if you want to get that deal done now, or type no if you want to wait. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button, because if Omar Khan makes any of these moves that we talked about today, we're going to be right here giving you guys a breaking news video right here on the channel. Also, you can go check me out on Twitter at Jack_Sperry for additional Steelers content 24/7, 365.